Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're here and I'm so glad you clicked on today's video. We are going to be doing my November TBR today, but I thought we'd put a little twist on it. I wanted to try something new. Every single month I usually just go through my library and I'll pick random books off my shelves. I thought we'd switch it up this month and do something a little different and make it more fun and exciting. Hopefully this will help motivate me to actually push through my TBR, because I feel like every month I'll make these very ambitious TBR piles and then I only get through like 4 or 5 of them. So the whole goal for today's video is to hopefully help me get through like a full TBR. By the title of today's video, you probably already have an idea of what we're going to be doing. I'm basically going to be using TBR prompts to choose my November TBR. I've seen this so many times across YouTube, mainly from Rachel Catherine. She does these every single month and it just looks like so much fun, so I thought I'd give it a try, but put my own little spin on it. This is my cutie little TBR jar and the prompts are inside, but the prompts are actually Taylor Swift songs. I found this idea on Pinterest and basically each little piece of paper has a Taylor Swift song on it, and then I have on my laptop here what the song correlates to book-wise. I thought this was such a fun and cutie little way to pick my November TBR. I just think this is gonna be so much fun and I've actually never done something like this before. I think I did like blindly choosing my TBR last year around this time, but I've never done TBR prompts. The fact that it's Taylor Swift themed, I just feel like is so much more fun and exciting. So that's what we're going to be doing in today's video. I have all the Taylor Swift prompts and songs listed on my Notion here. I use my Notion to organize like everything when it comes to books and reading and stuff like that. And I'm actually always getting questions about my Notion and how I organize it, how I add little GIFs and doodles, stuff like that. And it's actually all because of Skillshare, which is the sponsor of today's video. I am so excited to talk to you guys about Skillshare because if you are an OG on my channel, you know I'm a big Skillshare girly. I have been using Skillshare for a little bit over a year. Maybe we're creeping up on 2 years, honestly. Last year, I was in my Skillshare era. I was taking classes on so many different things. I was taking classes on Cricut DIYs. I was taking classes on Final Cut Pro editing, social media classes, literally anything you can think of, Skillshare has a class for. Recently, though, I have taken a Notion masterclass and it has literally changed everything for me. If you've never heard of Skillshare before though, they are actually the largest online learning community for creatives. They offer thousands of online classes and members who come together to find inspiration and take the next step in their creative journey. Skillshare has classes on a wide variety of topics including illustration, graphic design, photography, creative writing, animation, fine art, web development, craft, social media, and more. Skillshare also offers creative career focused classes too, which I really love. If you're looking for ways to level up in your career or start a new side hustle, Skillshare has classes in freelancing, marketing, social media, productivity, and more. It's a great place to get inspired, learn new skills, and put them to use in impactful ways. The class I recently took is a Notion Masterclass, Maximize Your Productivity and Organization by Ali Abdel. This was such a cool and fun class for me to take. I feel like it really elevated my skills when it comes to organizing my Notion and putting it to the best use where I get the most out of it. I genuinely love Skillshare and could not recommend them enough. And I have an amazing deal for you guys. The first 500 people to use my link down below will get 1 month free of Skillshare. Run, go sign up now. It is so worth it. You won't regret it. Also have my Notion class link down below for you if you want to take the one that I took. It really helps so much with organizing your Notion and getting on track. But with all that being said, let's hop in to my November TBR. I have my prompt set up. I have my prompt jar right here. So how this is gonna work is I'm actually gonna pick only 5 prompts from the jar and we're gonna go through and pick 5 books. I do already have 4 books on my November TBR and it's just because they're like new releases. We'll talk about them a little bit later, but we're gonna jump right into this and pick our TBR. I'm like so excited for this. You have no idea. I think this is gonna be so fun. Okay, prompt number 1. Let's see, Cruel Summer. So I already know it's going to be a book that takes place in the summertime, which it's not summertime. I'm just kidding. I actually don't mind that much. I read a summer book last month, Wildfire by Hannah Grace. It took place in the summertime at a camp and I was actually living for those vibes. It was so cute and cozy, so I'm actually not mad about it. The summer book we have is The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. This has actually been on my TBR for the longest time. So many people have raved about this book. I believe this is a fake dating trope and an enemies to lovers trope. Basically, this girl has a wedding to attend in Spain. I think her sister's getting married or something. I don't know if she's been lying to her family about having a boyfriend or if she wants to bring someone just to keep them off her back. She basically takes her colleague with her as her fake date. I'm pretty sure they despise each other, so there's an enemies to lovers in here. I've heard so many good things about this book and everyone raves about the vibes. It takes place in Spain, so I think this is going to be a super fun and vibey read. One book down. Let's see. Long Story Short. Long Story Short is a book that's 500 pages or more. Okay, TBR jar, you are trying to put me through it. Oh, this is the one I picked out. Oh my gosh, I'm actually really excited. I feel like this is gonna be the ultimate fall vibes. But we have The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata. This has been like raved about for the longest time. I've heard such incredible things about it. It's basically a football romance, and I think it's like an assistant falling in love with a football player. And I also think it's like a minor enemies to lovers. Maybe not enemies to lovers. Maybe it's a grumpy meets sunshine trope. I'm not too sure, but basically she's like the assistant to a football player. I think he doesn't appreciate her enough and like just mistreats her, so she quits. He comes back and begs her to come back and be his assistant, and I think they start to romance a little bit. I don't know. I know there's so much more to this, but I think it's gonna be such a fun fall read, mainly because it revolves around football. I don't think I've ever read a football romance either, so this is gonna be so much fun. And just for the record, this is over 600 pages actually. With the epilogue, this book is 665 pages. So, wish me luck with this one. I'm just kidding. I think it's gonna be a really fun read. 2 books down. We have our next song. This is actually for a book with a morally gray main character. So for that, I actually picked out a mafia romance, The Sweetest Oblivion by Danielle Laurie. This is book 1 in the Maid series. So many of you have been raving about this series to me and have been asking me to read it, pick it up. I'm finally doing it. I'm actually really excited that I got this one because I've heard a lot of really positive things about it. And when I originally bought it, I was a little bit nervous because it definitely sounds like super dark and twisted, and I've read like the Brutal Birthright series, which is a dark mafia romance series, and I really enjoyed it. But there's something about these books that just seem a little bit darker and twisted, but you guys have reassured me that it's actually not that bad, so we are gonna give it a try in the month of November. I feel like I'm in my dark romance era as well, so this just fits the vibes for me. I'm pretty sure this is like one of the weird ones though. The MC in this is basically engaged to this one girl, but I think he falls in love with her sister, so there's like a weird trope in here as well that I feel like wasn't really grabbing at my attention when I first got it, but who knows, we'll probably end up loving it. I'm a sucker for a good dark romance. So next up we have Ready for It. This book prompt is my most anticipated new release of 2023. Wait a second. Oh, this is really hard. This is actually really hard for me. We're gonna do A Curse for True Love by Stephanie Garber. I have been waiting for this book for the longest time, and it literally just came out last month, so it's probably one of my most anticipated reads for this year. There's 2 other books that are actually already on my November TBR that are coming out this month, so I feel like those also tie into this one. But A Curse for True Love is the 3rd and final book in the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. I've been waiting for this for the longest time. If you know, you know. The Ballad of Never After leaves off on like craziest and honestly the most awful cliffhanger I think I've ever read about. I finished that book and I just remember my heart being ripped out. I'm really excited to see what happens to Jax and Evangeline. I'm excited to see like the romance aspect in this because I know throughout the first 2 books I was kind of reaching for that romance and we weren't really getting it, so I'm hoping we get it in this one. And yeah, I'm hoping everything plays out the way that I want it to. I'm kind of nervous because I feel like I've seen other people's reviews of this and they've kind of been iffy, so I'm a little bit nervous going into it, but at the same time I'm really excited. So this is our 4th book. We have 1 more to go. Our last Taylor Swift prompt is Betty, and Betty is a book with a name in the title, which I've actually have like a few up here, but I know that for this one I definitely want to do Miss Daisy Hates by Jessa Hastings. I am so excited for this. I read Magnolia Parks a little bit earlier in the year and I ended up loving it so much more than I thought I would. I know everyone's like kind of iffy on the series because they say that it's very toxic, but I personally personally loved it. I really read it for the drama and the Gossip Girl vibes. I feel like this whole series just gives off Gossip Girl vibes, and I'm here for that. So I love Magnolia Parks. I hear everyone loves Daisy Hates More. So excited to jump into this. I'm also obsessed with this cover. It's definitely one of my favorite covers that I own. These are the 5 books that our prompt jar has chosen for our November TBR. Along with these books, I do have some books that I do definitely want to tackle in the month of November. The first one is A Court of Frost and Starlight. This is the 4th book in the ACOTAR series. My goal is actually to finish the series by the end of the year. So I'm hoping to read this in November and then jump into the last book in December and kind of prepare for the next book that's supposed to be coming out. But this is like just a cutie itty bitty book, so I feel like we'll have no problem getting through that. Then we have Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. This one is on my November TBR because it's actually my pick of the month. If you guys don't know, I run a book club over on the app Fable. It's completely free. If you want to join, I'll have it linked down below. In our monthly poll, everyone chose Better Than the Movies, and I'm so excited about it because it's literally been raved about for the longest time, and everyone says it's one of their favorite books. I'm really excited to jump into this, and I also just love like the idea of it. Better Than the Movies, having classic movie quotes throughout it. I'm like a huge fan of rom-coms and stuff like that, so I know I'm gonna eat that book up. Next I have Heavy Crown by Sophie Lark. This is the 6th and final book in the Brutal Birthright series. I put this on my November TBR just because I really want to wrap this series up. I really enjoyed tackling it the past 2 months, and it's the final book. It tells the story of Sebastian. We have Check and Mate by Allie Hazelwood. This is her YA debut, and you guys already know I'm like a huge Allie Hazelwood girly. She's one of my favorite authors. I eat up everything she puts out into the world, so I have no doubt I'm gonna love Check and Mate. I'm excited to jump into this. It's about 2 chess rivals, and I think they come together and join a tournament together. It's something along those lines. I know we have like a rival slash enemies to lovers trope in here, and I'm gonna love that because it's one of my favorites. And then as I mentioned, we have 2 brand new releases coming out in the month of November, which is Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. This is book 2. I'm so excited. Fourth Wing took the world by storm earlier this year, and I'm just so excited to continue the story and see what happens. Although I am getting a little nervous because everyone's comparing it to the ACOTAR series and saying that Xaden is basically going to turn into our Tamlin. No, let's not say that anymore, guys. Let's not compare him to Tamlin. I don't want to do that again and go through that. Tamlin is not it. And then the last book I have on my November TBR, which is also coming out the same day. Is it coming out the same day as Iron Flame? I think it may be. We have Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher. This is her first book in a new series, but it takes place in the same universe as the Dirty Air series and the Dreamland Billionaire series. And it actually takes place in the same town that the final book in the Dreamland Billionaire series takes place in, which is Lake Wisteria. I'm so excited for this. I've been eating up Lauren Asher's books all year long. I am like obsessed with her writing style, her characters. She has quickly become one of my favorite romance authors, so I know I'm gonna love Love Redesigned so much. It's a small town trope. It's an enemies to lovers trope. I think the MC in it is a billionaire, and I also love the vibes of Lake Wisteria. In the final offer, the whole book takes place there, and it just gives off like the coziest small town vibes. These are all the books on my November TBR, not including the 2 books that are coming out in a week or 2. So we have a pretty ambitious TBR. It's honestly comical that I think I'm going to be able to get through all these books, but a girl can dream. I'm going to manifest it, guys. I'm going to read all these books on my TBR. That is all for my November TBR. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had fun. I'm so sorry about this lighting. I don't know what we're going to do because this is just the new reality going into fall and winter. If you've made it this far in the video, comment down below what is on your November TBR, and if you have any of the books on my TBR also on your TBR, because that means we're like buddy reading in the month of November, and I love that for us. I'm super excited for the month of November. We have a lot of fun videos planned. We're also creeping into holiday season, which is one of my favorites. And yeah, here's to a happy and productive November. I'm excited to see how many more books we can read this year. I think I'm at the 70 book mark, and my goal for 2023 was 50 books. So I've actually completed my 2023 goal, and I think next year we're definitely gonna raise it to like maybe 85 or 100 books, but I'm at the 70 book mark right now, which is super exciting. I kind of want to push myself to get to 80 or 85, so we'll see what happens. Also, let me know down below if you like this idea and if we should keep doing Taylor Swift prompts for future TBR videos, because I feel like it was so much fun. I also feel like if I didn't have so many new releases coming out this month, then we would have picked more books with it. Let me know if you guys want to see this video for my December TBR as well. We'll be able to use more prompts of it, and I'll probably add like some Christmas ones in there too. I don't know. This was so much fun. I want to do it again. You know what? I'm making the executive decision. We're going to do this in December as well because this is really fun. I can see why so many people love using prompts to choose their TBR. I'm going to stop rambling. The lighting is just atrocious in my apartment. So I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you in my next video.
Afternoon on a train, I only took it because it started to rain. Afternoon in the